Hi, you guys. Okay, Power Book 2 Ghosts, Season 2, Episode 2, Selfless Acts. The episode starts off with Tariq again being tormented in his dreams, but this time it's with Kanan came to visit him. And Kanan is telling him, look, you know what you need to do. And he's telling him basically to get rid of that phone because that's exactly what Tyreek should have did from the beginning. But Tyreek thing is, if he get rid of that phone, he will no longer be connected to his mother, which his mother has yet to contact him. But he's hoping that Tasha will hit that phone. Next, there's banging at the door, and Tyreek wakes up, and he is hauled off down to the police station. Why they won't tell him. He gets down there and find out that it's because Big Mama was drunk driving with Jasmine in the car. Big Mama tells Tariq, like, look, I wasn't made for this. This is not supposed to be my life right now. I done lost my granddaughter, your father, and now my daughter is gone. I want to have a drink or two. I should be able to have one. Yeah, but it looks like you had a drink of 7 with a child in the car. But I do understand what she is saying. Tyreek is talking about Big Mama. How could you drive with Yaz in the car like that? Let us not ever forget, Tyreek, that you had your sister Raina come out there and handle your beef. How could you ever? Rest in peace to Raina. It's given the pot calls the kettle black. McLean has sent Sax down to the police station to see how he can make things easier for Big Mama. And he told Tyreek that Jasmine has to be placed in foster care, and they was like, what? The Tyreek tried to take her. He was like, no, college dorm room isn't a suitable residence for a child. Tyreek meets up with McLean, and he's like, what the fuck? Why do you have Sax working for you? He can't be trusted. McLean tells him, look, relax. Sax has a certain skill set that can be helpful to every client here, including you. And just as he was saying that, Sax walked in with some good news. He got Big Mama a DAT. That means that she won't have to wait in jail for her court hearing. She can be at home. Sax leaves out the room, and Tyreek tells McLean, look, you shouldn't trust him. Sax don't do shit out the kindness of his heart. And McLean tells him, baby boy, neither do I. Fortunately, your sister is going to have to wait until the court hearing until she can go back home with your grandmother. But until then, you're going to need a lot of money, and you're going to need someone with a lot of influence. And this is where Governor Tate is going to come in the picture for Tariq. But I'm guessing Diamond called Tate in for a meeting. Tate is like, this is right on time. I also need your help as well. Tate goes on to say, I need some information on Congressman Rick Sweetney, and I'm going to need help with the DNC. And Diamond cut his ass off. He said, that's nice. I have another idea. And we know from last season that Diamond is invested in Tariq, future dad's Diamond. So he's telling Tate that with all the recent murders and everything, Stanford needs some good publicity. So he's going to send Tate over there as an adjunct, and it will be beneficial to them on both sides. Tate is like, I don't know. And Simon cut him off. He said, we're not talking about you, Rashad. This will be great for headlines, and you need a great headline. Simon goes on to say that while Tate is there, that he can look up more information about Congressman Sweetney and get all the dirt that he needs on him. He also added that go on and look up who's in charge of that colonical study over there. So Governor Tate went on Google, and he see Carrie picture. Now he's so mesmerized. Now he's ready to sign up. Tariq finally meets up with Braden, and Braden, of course, been looking for Tariq. He said that he had to make an executive decision and leave the drugs inside his trunk, inside his parents' garage at one of their homes. Now, Tariq wasn't happy about that, but Braden tells him, look, chill. The lockdown was like Fort Knox out that motherfucker. And what did you expect me to do? You wasn't answering the phone. I had to make a decision. Tariq explains to Braden that he has a lot going on right now, and he's going to need Braden to handle the product alone. And Braden's like, damn, you trust me to do that? Tariq tells him, of course. Okay, y'all, over to Kane. Kane is hanging out with LG at a corner bodega or something, and he gets a text from Mecca to come up and see him. He goes up to see him, and Mecca has a penthouse suite. So as soon as you walk in, get off the elevator, you walk into the apartment, and Mecca creeps up on Kane, and Kane is like, "I wish you stopped doing that ninja shit." And Mecca said, "Well, maybe you should be more aware of your surroundings." Mecca tells Kane that, okay, last time you asked me 21 questions, now it's my turn. And he asked him first, well, that shit you pulled with that guy uncuffing him, what were you trying to prove? That was risky and stupid. Kane like, oh no, I've been stepping niggas out like that my whole life. I've been trained for it. Yeah, my brother and sister too. And Mecca said, so what about them? And Kane said, well, they're around. He goes on to say, but my mom been thinking she been running shit for too long. You be getting how she got there. And Mecca said, so what about Lorenzo? He said, damn, what you want, a book report? Mecca said, yeah. And he was like, my mom's been trying to get him out for a minute, but he ain't coming home. Well, because things are the way they are, I have to make it on my own out here. Mecca tells him, well, that's life. We have to make our own paths. And no matter if your family is blood or not, what really matters is those that was down for you from the beginning. He tells Kane, well, you know what? I'm going to give you a trial run. Okay, he looks on his camera and he sees dumbass LG all in the lobby. He was like, you told this nigga to come up here? Kane like, no, he must have followed me. LG come up there all on the gram and stuff. Mecca asks LG, why would you want a public record of everywhere you been? So LG gets off the phone. He like, I'm sorry, we just trying to get your product out there, push your product. And he went in to slap him a 5, and LG broke every little bone in his fucking finger. Mecca says to Kane, didn't I tell you about your surroundings? He said that he's trying to be a powerhouse, and he needs a real organization. And hanging with clowns like LG, it's no good for me, and neither are you if you don't know this is clownery and not know what company to keep. And he's right. LG, a poor LG. LG been getting fucked up since last season. And he just keep coming back. I would thought LG would have took off, ran away somewhere, and regrouped some goddamn way because he just keep getting fucked up. But Mecca is slowly realizing that Kane also is a clown. He tells Kane, you know what? I was wrong about you. I'm not working with you. Take this clown and get the fuck out. Zeke is holding a press conference because he decided to enter into the NBA draft pick this season. A reporter asked him, was his decision based on the off-court issues earlier this season? And I'm thinking about I think she's speaking of that situation when he got into the fight under the bridge with the CTG gang member. Zeke tells her, no, I have put that behind me and I'm just looking forward to a good season. After his interview was over, he asks Monet, are you sure that I'm ready for this? And she tells him, look, you got to be ready because it's happening. She goes on to tell Zeke, look, I'm the only one that has your best interest at heart. She asks him, are you sure that you took care of those off the court issues that you had going on? Speaking of Carrie, I kind of feel bad for Zeke because Zeke does look at Monet as a mother figure, that she would steer him in the right direction, and she has been failing him so far. She's putting him out in the open, and she's relying on him to basically fix it with his talent, with this hopes that he become an NBA star, and that's not right. Later on down at the bar, Monet is teaching Diana how to launder money. Diana does the books, and she says she taught herself the program, and she tells Monet she could be even better if she could take an accounting class. Diana tells Monet, if I get an MBA, I could help the whole family. I can do Zeke's books when he goes to the MBA and protect the money. Monet not trying to hear that. She said, you itching to get up Stansfield with Tariq. She tells Diana, I hear what you're saying, but little girl, you way out your lane, and you can't mix school and streets right now. Baby, can you stand the rain? Monet hears this and she rushes to the window, and at the light is a old 80s Camaro sitting out there at the light, a red one, a nice one, and she's reminiscing. And Diana said, Ma, when you start listening to love music? Is it because of your wedding anniversary? And Monet tells her, yes, 22 years. Your father held me down when no one else would. She tells Diana, I see you itching to get out there, but it's when it's your time. And she tells Diana, having a lover makes you weak, but having a partner makes you strong. Now, I do agree with Monet on this one, on this tidbit. Tyreek is caught up in himself right now. He does not have time to think or be considerate of, a female's feeling of true love. He's out here doing his thing. He's moving and doing important shit that he has to do for himself and his family. He really don't have time to take anyone serious. I'm not saying that he's not capable of that, but not right now. Monet tells Diana, Tariq will never be that. He's his own man. Over at Stansfield, Tate takes Steinman's advice and gets the position down at Stansfield for the co-professor working alongside Carrie, teaching ethics class. And Carrie wasn't flattered by Tate at all, not in the least bit. Tate tells Carrie, that's not exactly what the welcome I expected. If you don't mind me saying, your pictures does not do you justice. You're absolutely stunning. And Carrie said, actually, I do mind. I'm not your welcome committee. They think that they can just swap out one high-profile black man for another and no one would notice. They said, now Carrie, Dad. Carrie said, it's Professor Milgram. Maybe it would be best if you just sit this one out for today and observe. Class is about to start and Hannah, Carrie's sponsor, is burning her phone up because the detective, he done went down there and saw harassing Hannah, demanding answers about what Carrie and her discussed about Jabari. But Carrie can't answer the phone right now because class is going on. So Carrie introduces Tate, and Brashana said, a politician going to teach us about ethics? Okay. Tate tells the class, my experience in government has given me a unique perspective on navigating tough ethnical dilemmas in the real world. This could be a good perspective for the class. I'm thinking ethics teaches the moral principles that governs a person's behavior in theory. Now, Tate will be the reality as he moves shady and sneaky, because Tate has a dark side to him. And we're going to be finding that out very soon. He's going to be having his own spinoff as well. But yeah, it's some dark-sidedness with Tate. Sneaky and shady. But we'll find out. Carrie says, she gives the question to the class, is there any truly selfless acts? A student says, the good feeling that comes from a selfless deed is self-serving motivation. Lauren said, well, what about a mother risking her life for her child? Another student says, selflessness is just a casualty of evolution. Another student said, well, how do you explain Jesus' ultimate selfless act, dying for our sins? And Prashanda said, well, Jesus is famous as fuck. Every good deed has a selfish motive, even if it's in the guarantee that you'll make it into heaven. Carrie was about to say something and Tate cuts her off, and he tells her, I'm sorry, but your question is flawed. Selflessness is a personal moral standard. Reality is, it's possible for all parties to gain from any interaction. And Brashanda said, right, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Anything else is a waste of time. And let me tell you, I agree with Brashanda 100%. And like I said earlier, Tate will be the one that will test this theory. After class was dismissed, Carrie looks at the missed calls and text messages from Hannah. Detective Whitman done scared her off. She tells Carrie she needs to find another sponsor. And I'm curious. I'm like, why? Why would you say that? What happened? Does these people know something that we don't know? Because again, even if a detective came to question you, why would that turn you off to the point where you like, no, I can't deal with you? Yes, it's messy, but Carrie is no murderer. Just as I expected, Tyreek goes up to Tate He asked him, do you really believe both parties can benefit from an interaction? Because I definitely could use your help from someone of your stature in family court. What do you need? What can I do for you? Tate says, there's nothing. And then he said, hold up. Actually, do you know any Westons here? We know that Tate is selfish and he doesn't do anything if it's not self-serving to him. So Tyreek is like, actually, I do. And Tate said, well, I'm feeling a little altruistic today. And just as he was saying that, Detective Whitman come in and he wants to question Tyreek. Detective Santana from last season relayed that Tyreek was in Jabari's office the day before his murder. So Whitman is asking him, did you notice any odd behavior? And Tyreek said, no, I just been so focused on all the stuff I got going on. And Whitman said, well, did you notice any tension between, let's say, Carrie? And Tyreek said, you know what? Actually, yes, it's been rumors that they've been dating. And I was at dinner at the Baldwin house, and I don't know if Lauren told you, but those two had pretty heated argument that day. Detective Whitman is like, guide her. What is his obsession with Carrie? He knows Carrie personally. What does he know that we don't? In my opinion, he doesn't have a motive to charge Carrie with murder. It's giving obsession. Brayton dropped some supplies off to Effie. And a few moments later, Effie calls Brayden back and tell him to get back chair because this shit been stepped on. Brayden is like, what? And he's burning Tyreek's phone up. Tyreek is caught up with Kane's scary ass. Kane over there like, why Ramirez hasn't been linked to this Jabari yet? And Tyreek said, I talked to the cops. Yep, it's cool. They question a lot of students and they have a suspect. They have another person as a suspect. It's a professor, his ex. And Kane said, this ain't over. Just make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure she take this weight. And I'm like, that's fucked up. What did Carrie ever do to you, Tyreek? Anyway, Tyreek noticed multiple missed calls and texts from Brayden, and he rushes off without even telling Kane his plan. Tyreek goes to Monet's and asks Diana to drive him up to New Haven, but if Diana leaves their house, Monet will kill her. She is almost 30, not 16. She don't belong driving a friend in New Haven. Tyreek tells her that it's concerning the drugs that they gave him. So with that being said, she gives Tyreek a ride up to New Haven. Meanwhile, Brayden meets up with Effie, and Effie is going back and forth with a customer who spent $15,000 on sugar. When they asked Brayden about it, and he's like, no, it wasn't me per se. And Effie said, what the fuck you mean? You dropped it off to me? And the customer said, look, I don't give a fuck who problem it is, but somebody better make it right for my 15 ends or I'm gonna. And Effie said, you gonna do what? What the fuck you gonna do? You ain't gonna do shit. Shit went from 0 to 100 real quick. Effie, she pulled out a gun, and the dude that was with the customers, he knocked the gun out of her hand, and Brayden tried to reach for it, and the guy kicks the gun under the car, and he proceeds to beat Brayden's face, which I'm glad that he did because things could have went from bad to worse. Effie has to learn how to control her emotions because that didn't even warrant her to pull out a gun at that moment. Brayden and Effie is waiting for Tyreek at her place, and I'm wondering if Brayden is thinking about what Effie told him earlier when she told him that, look, Tyreek only looks out for himself, and you're going to have to learn that if you're going to be in this game. Tyreek and Diana finally makes it over to Effie's, and Effie asks Tyreek, who is she? Is that your girl? Diana said, what's it to you? Tyreek at the same time said, no, it's not like that. Effie said, well, look, it doesn't matter. Somebody just better fix this shit. Could have got me killed. And so Tyreek is like, huh? Oh, what's going on? For what I know, it's supposed to be good. Brayden said, look, I didn't touch shit. We must have got it like that. And Diana's like, no. Things don't seem like they got bad until Effie came in the picture. And Effie said, look, bitch, I done fuck one bitch up today. I'll fuck another one up too. Tariq comes to both of the ladies down and he tells them, look, y'all can't do all that. We have to fix this shit. And they all say, you right. Brayden asks, well, who's going to tell Monet? Dun, 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 dun. Diana finally makes it home. Drew, he's coming down the steps like, ooh, Monet was looking for you. You gonna get it. Monet said, where the fuck you been? Diana said, Ma, I was in New Haven with Tyreek because our shit ain't right. Monet is like, what the fuck are you talking about? She takes a taste and she like, that motherfucking Rico. I'm glad I shot his ass. She said, well, we having cake for dessert tonight. Diana and Drew is surprised that she's taking it so lighthearted. I mean, at this point, what could she really do? You know, who is she's going to go back and kill? Rico again? But something tells me this isn't Rico's work. Sex Sneaky Link then told him all of the business. She told him everything that's going on with Carrie being a murder suspect. He's like, what? Carrie is no murderer. Like I said. And then she also tells him that Tyreek is on the list of advisors. And Sex is like, that fucking Tyreek. And automatically he knows Tyreek's been in some shit. And something tells me that Sex isn't going to let up off Tyreek. He's going to be feeding his little sneaky link information, if any, that he gets on Tyreek. Earlier in the episode, Drew did something self-serving, in my opinion. He was down at the gym with Zeke. Zeke was helping him out with some therapy to get his shoulder back right. Zeke mentioned that he was excited about going to the league. It's just some things and some people that he'll miss at Stansfield, which he was speaking of Carrie. And Drew said, some people I'm going to miss too. And he, of course, is speaking of Everett. Drew goes on to tell Zeke, you'll be a lot safer with being out the way of Tyreek and course correct. So Zeke is like, that's Tyreek. He got that shit on lock. Auntie Monet ain't gonna let y'all go no man. What is you talking about? Drew said, yeah, we're going with you. This NBA deal is an exit strategy. We're going wherever you go. And Drew mentioned this to try to get Zeke to go against Monet, in my opinion. The idea of them coming along probably will be too much for Zeke. And Drew is growing tired of Monet shit. He's tired of being Monet's puppet. Now Drew is sitting on the steps looking at Edward's IG page when Kane pulls up to apologize to Kane. Kane tells Drew, I want to help you. Kane takes Drew to a gun range and he's working on his bum aim so he can be a protector of the family. Drew gets frustrated at the fact that he can't take a nice clean shot, but after Kane works with him a bit, his aim gets better. Kane starts fishing. Drew tells Kane that they got ripped off by Rico and Monet just laughed it off. Drew said, we need a new connect. Kane said, I might can help out with that. What a coincidence. Kane took their shit. Zeke went over to Carrie's. He told her that he got to do what he have to do for the family and they should stop seeing one another. And Carrie seems like she was going to tell him the same thing. They hug one another. Zeke leaves out and Detective Whitman was sitting outside of Carrie's place stalking her. And he spotted Zeke coming out. Whitman storms up to her place. He's like, what was Zeke Cross doing here? And Carrie said, why are you here? And why were you harassing my sponsor? This fool gonna ask her, why did she move her couch? See, this is where I would have been done with his ass. I would have told him to get the fuck out if he don't have anything to arrest me. Whitman goes on to say, one more time, what was he doing here? You've been lying to me. I know you had a tumultuous sexual relationship with Jabari and you lied. Why? Carrie tells him, because I knew that you would draw your own conclusions. And Whitman said, where were you the night of Jabari's murder? Carrie said, I was here with Zeke. And disgusted, Whitman is like, you were here between the hours of 7-11 with your student, Ezekiel Cross. Wow. I'm going to talk to him. And if you tell him to corroborate your story, I'm going to lock both of y'all up. Whitman gives me Psycho Man. Down at Casa Tejadas, Drew tells Monet that Kane can put them on with a new connect. She just can't forgive Kane right now, and Drew tells her, well, we both know Kane isn't the sole reason that I was shot. If I can forgive him, you can. And Monet is like, no, I can't. Again, Monet hears, can you stand the rain? And she rushes over to the window and she looks out. And it's the same red car, but this time a female jumps out and she heads towards one of the houses. And I'm like, is this some kind of signal or sweet something from her husband? Because you can see the longing in Monet's face when she rushes to the window and gaze out of it in hopes of finding something or looking at something. Monet goes on up to have a conjugal visit with Lorenzo. It's their anniversary and Monet is over it. This tells me that that the signal did not come from Lorenzo. She tells Lorenzo that she's tired of the same old routine, the same old lingerie. And Monet said, I need more. Lorenzo said, I'm sorry, it is what it is. And Monet said, I brought you all of this stuff, and what do I get? Air. Every day, air. When Rico fucked me over, air. I feel what Monet is saying. However, this is what you chose. I don't understand, what does she expect from Lorenzo due to his situation. Monet explains why Kane is out of the family to Lorenzo, and now he has a new connect. So Lorenzo was like, hold up, Kane has a connect. You the one who killed Rico. If Kane is offering product and you need to take it today. Later on that day, Monet goes on down to old girl house, the house where Kane be shacked up at, and Monet offered the girl some money to get lost so she can talk to Kane. Monet says to Kane, Drew told me about your offer, but I'm gonna need to know if I can trust you. First things first, enough lying. Next, don't forget about your family. And lastly, Tariq is off limits. Okay, are we good? Okay, good. Go get your things. And just like a baby boy he is, Kane go on up and grab his stuff and come along with Monet. Diana pays Effie a visit. This ain't about no Tariq. She wants to know how Effie juggles the streets and school at the same time. Diana asks Effie, teach me. Effie said, it's not easy. Are you even smart? Okay, so who stepped on your product? You know all the players, right? Who would have the most to gain by fucking up your shit? And we know. I'm like, come on, Diana, you can figure this out. It's Kane. Okay, back at Stansfield, Curry is in her office and Zeke is on her mind, mainly because of Whitman's threat. Tariq comes in and he asks Curry, you said that we can come talk to you about whatever we need. Well, my sister was placed in foster care. And Curry is like, oh my God, yes, I can help out with whatever I can. Now Tate interrupt the conversation and asks Curry, could he talk with her real quick? While Tate is bitching about the police holding up his office as if Curry had any control over that. Tariq was about to plant the burner phone inside of her desk drawer. Tariq overheard Tate mentioning that to Carrie that he was being taken away to being questioned yesterday, and Carrie tells Tate that Tariq has nothing to do with what's going on. Tariq is a good kid, and Tariq hearing this brought conviction in his heart, and he decided not to place the burner cell phone inside of Carrie's desk. I was happy about that because Carrie didn't do anything to anybody but be jumping on everybody's pole around campus and outside of campus. Tariq instead, he takes the burner phone to a pledge night and tossed it in a pit fire that they had. He runs into Lauren at this pledge night. Lauren says to Tariq, "You never come to things like this." And Tariq said, "Yeah, this ain't me." Lauren said, "Let's get out of here." She takes Tariq to her honeycomb hideout, a rooftop on campus, and they was conversing about cynical and selfless acts. Then they start kissing. Kissy face, kissy face, kissy face. Diana is calling Tariq's phone, and Tariq needs to take the call. Diana said, "We have more product coming and we need you to find a stash spot." So Lauren is like, "Tariq, every time I get alone with you, you get distracted. But it's cool, I'ma go." "That's right, Lauren. The fuck's wrong with you? I want all of your time and attention when we're together." Soon as Kane gets back into the family, he runs over to Mecca with the stolen product. He tells Mecca that the people that he jacked the product from needs a new connect. Kane explains to Mecca that he took the product, Mecca advice on how to replace the product with sugar. He got that from Mecca. Mecca said, "Okay, smart. Now, who exactly are we going into business with?" "Monet Tejada." "So you stole from your family?" And Kane said, "No, I created an opportunity for them." I bet that Mecca knows the absolute truth about Kane, and he looks at him like a fool. Seth confesses to McLean that he's been fucking the state's attorney and that she told him that Tariq is questionable. Not so much a suspect, but the lead that they have right now is bullshit. So Seth said, "Remember Carrie Dad?" And McLean is like, "Carrie is a suspect? Keep me posted. You get inside and keep feeding me info." McLean goes down to Carrie's house, and of course she fucked him too. Carrie opens the door and she's like, "What the hell? Get out of here." And McLean said, "Listen, I just want to make things up to you. You have a murder charge and you may need my help." Carrie said, "I don't want your help." And she slams the door in his face. Guess who's coming to dinner? Kane. Monet said Kane finally decided to do something for the family, a new connect. So as she's telling the other ones that what Kane did and how things is going back to normal, there's a noise outside, and Monet goes outside and her trash cans are knocked over. While Monet was checking that out, Kane was making a plate. Diana asked Drew, "Yo, you called Kane before he pitched you to connect, or did he reach out to you?" And Drew said, "No, he rolled up on me." Now Diana is putting the pieces together, which I am shocked that Monet wasn't on it, because my thing is, out of coincidence, Kane just appears out of nowhere when y'all got. While the family was having dinner, Whitman storms into Zeke dorm and he took him in for questioning about this Curry situation, and the bitch that he was smashing at the time is recording all of this. And lastly, the love songs, the car, the knocked over trash can. This was a signal from motherfucking Mecca, aka Dante. Monet tells Mecca that she knew that it was him, and what does he want with her after all these years? Mecca, aka Dante, tells Monet, "I needed to see you again." And Monet said, "It's been too long. Whatever you want from me, it's too late." And Dante said, "Just in case you change your mind." And he passes her his business card. And Monet walks off a blushing hard. She is going to hit that Negro up, okay? All right, she's going to hit that Afro-Latino up. And she needs to. I'm sorry. She needs to. Really like this episode. It was Selfless Acts, and it shows how everyone was doing stuff to self-serve them. And I think they did a good job showing that. And that's it for this episode. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.